Hey guys, in this video, we're going to interview JohnnyGK. Check it out. Hi guys, so welcome to another video, and we are here with the infamous, I don't know if it's infamous, right? JohnnyGK, also known as John Hakeem of Greenskeeper and the founder of Greenskeeper. So how you doing, John?
I'm doing great, John. Thanks.
Awesome, great. Now, it's kind of weird, I mean, because obviously on the channel, it's mainly featured you anyway, so you got this guy here who produces the videos interviewing you.
Well, you're not just any guy, John. I mean, you've been here since the conception of Greenskeeper. You're one of the founding programmers. I mean, pretty big stuff, dude.
Yeah, but
CY Chow on Greenskeeper, by the way, guys.
Hey, guys. Well, anyways, I actually wanted to sit down with John, and we talked about, talking about GK and how it all started and stuff, because people are interested in that. So I figured the best way to do it is me interviewing you, because that's probably the best format for him to play off of, especially instead of him just chatting from the camera.
Yeah,
by himself. So, anyway, so why don't we start? Okay, talk to us about the start of GK. How did it all start?
All right. So the way Greenskeeper started was back in 2002. I was in the record industry, and I golfed every Wednesday, and golf courses always aerate their greens on Monday and Tuesday. And I got pretty frustrated with that. And at the time, I knew some HTML code and stuff. I had a nice WYSIWYG called Front Page. And I just had an idea. I was like, I don't see this online. I don't see this resource. And I'm just going to put it on there because it just was getting ridiculous, like I said, ridiculously frustrated. So I went to start to code it, and it got more complex than I thought it was going to be. And so I started to look for some programmers, and then I came across a company, Annex Technologies, that had a community piece of software, and that's when all the bells and whistles went off. And I said, oh my God, an online community, and that's kind of what kickstarted Greenskeeper. So.
Oh, that's great. But how did the concept come about? I mean, other than just aeration alerts and stuff like that, I mean, something must have really kickstarted.
Well, my love has always been golf and computers. I was in the record industry kind of by default. My dad had an independent record promotion company that I took over, and I've been told all these years, oh my God, it's the music industry, this is the greatest thing. And I never was fully there. My heart was never there. It was always with computers and golf. So I was always looking for an opportunity to get into computers and golf. And I'd always, I've been one of these guys. I own an IBM PC, like back in the 80s, I coded like in BASIC and things like that. And so, I mean, I actually wanted to be a system analyst. That was my original dream in high school. I wanted to be deep into computers and stuff. And my high school counselor was just like, no, that's ridiculous. You'll never amount to anything doing that.
Oh, well,
How funny is that? That's 1985.
Yeah, that was back in the old days.
Talk about no vision out of that dude.
Right.
But no, I'm happy where my life has taken me. So that's kind of what motivated me to get Greenskeeper going. And then once you get momentum on something and an idea, it just carries and carries. So
was the independent record labeling gig, was that is that something that you just wanted to get? Was it something you hated?
No, I actually really enjoyed it. Okay. I met some great people, especially in radio, as well as records and stuff. And I got to do some really fun things. I actually worked for Interscope Records at one time in Minnesota, froze my butt off up there back in 1993.
Yeah, it's cold up there.
Yeah, but I did miss the Northridge earthquake, so that was kind of cool. I didn't have to go through that trauma. But it was the coldest winter they had in like 20 years. It was 10 straight days of below zero. So when that thing didn't work out, because honestly, that was the only time I really ever worked for somebody, was with Interscope Records. I didn't like working for somebody. Right. So I mean, the entrepreneur in me was like, no, this just ain't you. And then I came back and I started to do my independent record promotion.
Nice.
And then from there, that's when the idea from Greenskeeper, and I actually did the independent record promotion and Greenskeeper at the same time for a good 3-4 years. And then my heart was just all about GK, especially when I started to make some money with GK. I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I closed shop on my independent record promotion company.
Nice. Okay, so when you started GK, it was, in one direction, and then obviously as it grown, how many years it's been? It's been forever now.
It was launched in September 2002.
Oh my gosh, that long ago.
That's, wow, that's like 16 years ago, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I've been jumping in and out of GK on and off, as time periods go by and stuff like that. But the goal of GK, what is the main goal of GK now as opposed to as it was when you started?
It actually is the same thing. I mean, the mission statement of Greenskeeper is to help golfers enjoy their golf experiences as much as possible. And that's kind of how everything grew out of that.
Yeah.
So what was it? I had to learn, okay, what is it that people enjoy most about golf, their golf experiences? And so, I did a survey with the members of Greenskeeper, and it was dominantly the golf course. What you experience at the golf course is what that's how you get the most out of it. So I started to center the platform more and more on golf course content and helping people decide where to play. And it's just held true all the way. I mean, it's gone through different, obviously, paths, and it's evolved in different directions, and it's come back. I think it's more so come back to what it originally was intended to do.
Which was the community?
Was really to help people decide where to play. But what happened was it cultivated this community through gratitude. And people started to be more of service to each other and more real.
Right.
And that's kind of how Greenskeeper started to move in that direction.
Nice. So now Greenskeeper, there's a lot of different parts of Greenskeeper. I mean, I know because I programmed half of it, right? We had the scorekeeper, and then we had the birthday special and all that stuff like that. And some, we created, and some kind of went away, or some kind of just got lost in translation or whatever. And one of the biggest things and one of the most important things about Greenskeeper is the aeration alerts. Now, I remember when we were talking about this years ago, I had to understand how aerations alert were, what they were, first of all, and how you handled them so that we could try to, implement it into the website and how you could manage it all. And then when you told me, I was like, okay, this can't be right because you're just sitting there doing this forever. I mean, that's like crazy. So you were explaining it to me. How about you explain it to everyone else? Because I think they need to appreciate what you have to go through.
Yeah,
it's getting on. I mean, unless there's trade secrets.
Let me tell you something. In the beginning, especially, all you had was a phone.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my cell phone either. It was like my elbow would get sore. My neck would get sore from holding the phone. I mean, it was crazy. This was 2002, 2003. And, that was aeration alerts. Probably still, most people, that's what they find most valuable about Greenskeeper, because that is such a major bummer for any golfer. And you show up to the golf course and there's holes all over the green, there's sand all over the green. I mean, it just ruins your golf experience for some people. I mean, you can still get through it, but why not be able to avoid that? Why not be able to skip around and play the courses that haven't aerated yet, or their golf courses have already started to recover from it? So anyway, the aeration alerts, that required phone work. I mean, there's no other way. You didn't have email then, really.
Right.
I mean, and the golf courses, they weren't too willing to give up that information. And by and large, they still don't like to give up that information unless they're asked. But now if they're
obviously,
asked,
right? Because if they're aerating, you don't want to go play there.
Yeah. I mean, in the early days, you had to be almost like a detective.
Yeah.
I mean, in the early days, it was like, you call a golf course, and they're like, oh, why? I don't really need to tell you that. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you want to know that? That's just part of what we do. And I was like, well, because I don't want to come and play your course. So, I wouldn't even identify myself as, a company or greenskeeper.org. I just identify myself as a golfer.
So is it easier nowadays?
It is easier now. And you can find that information more and more. It's more transparent now.
Right.
They've come to understand how important it is for the customer. So they'll put it on their website sometimes.
Right.
I mean, you still got to do the calls. And plus I have help now. I have a content manager that helps make those calls. People, when they see an aeration alert isn't posted on Greenskeeper because they know how focused it is on it, almost immediately they will email me and they will say, hey, this golf course is aerating the greens, or they already did. I didn't see it posted. So we have a whole community now that's kind of self-policing the whole market and things. And ultimately, we never really miss one anymore.
Right.
Because of that. But no, it takes still a lot of calls. But the whole thing is, it's like clockwork, Chung. I mean, a superintendent, a golf course is a living organism, and there are certain times each golf course is going to aerate the greens because that's when it's most optimal for the growing conditions.
Yeah.
So you have a schedule. So it's not like you're calling every golf course, in the whole database, within a couple week period. You prioritize it. Now they can slip one in, it's kind of sneaky, but it's not sneaky, it's just that they needed to do it, or they have a new superintendent or whatever, they've changed their agronomy on how they want to go about it. But it's a big deal. I take it very serious. I still get super pumped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tedious, but the cumulative effect of having those alerts on Greenskeeper and how much I know they mean to golfers, and how much it really helps them enjoy their golf experience, which is the mission of GK. It's very rewarding. It still is. I have to pull myself out of it sometimes because I just get so deep into it and I've got all these other things to do. But anyway.
Well, I mean, when you first started GK, I was there, so I knew how it went. It was you doing everything. I was doing programming along with Annex and stuff like that. And then I think it just became mostly me doing the programming because when I left Annex, or the whole situation there, it was you, me, and wasn't Vic doing some stuff too, I think?
Vic got involved, not so much from a coding standpoint, but Vic was the original director of community. He's the director of community today. And Vic is a huge part, Ringworld on Greenskeeper.
Right.
And he's actually manages the GK blog now. And he helps manage the GK store. I've got tremendous people, just the whole community as a whole. We have a community staff that's really great.
Now that's another thing I said. We've grown to a community staff, which I haven't even met half of them because I've been out of the loop for so long. Who are some of these people that so I mean, I'm not telling you to pick and choose.
Yeah.
There's some shout outs that
there's wow. I mean, you've got K Visor. You've got
I remember K Visor.
Yeah,
he's been around
still
forever.
active.
Yeah.
And you've got C Pembo. Who the cool story with Chris is that people always thought it was a guy, and then she came in and she's just awesome. She's also the director of community as it relates to women on the site.
Nice.
Which is something that Greenskeeper is going to be focusing more and more on.
Yes, definitely. We really want to push that too.
Yeah. I mean, and Greenskeeper is open to everybody. So there isn't any special treatment for one or the other. It's just it's a community that is really genuine, and there's no big egos on GK, But then there's we got a lot. I mean, there's Ringworld obviously. There's these things to do back from the past, but still, what a lot of times will happen is Nick Esquire, is somebody posts some any spam. They can take the spam, they can move it to the holding tank with the forums. If somebody posts a fake review or tries to post that, they can report that review. People don't realize how much back end, surveillance, so to say. I mean, that's a pretty strong word, but we're really managing content on Greenskeeper, and I rely on that community staff to help me out. The thing is, although I'm so deep into it, I'm almost always the first one to jump on something, right? Because I'm just like, oh, wait a minute, So.
Well, that's why you have your community staff and stuff. I mean, you got to sooner or later kind of let them handle stuff. I mean, because you got a lot more important things to do.
I really got to learn how to let go.
You'll learn after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a while too with my project and stuff, but they're there to help you out, and they're there for a reason. When they volunteer and they say, yeah, I want to help you out, they mean it usually.
Yeah, and I want to do a lot more with the community staff. I want to do some more special things.
We should. I mean, that's something we'll talk about, something we'll get more into. And then what about if someone is watching this video now, it's been using GK, and they love GK and they want to help out in any way, how would they go about asking you?
The number one thing anybody can do on Greenskeeper is post an authentic review. I mean, because that's really how the platform, you have the aeration alerts, but in creating those authentic reviews that are just, people really rely on those reviews. And there's a lot of places to get reviews on the web right now, but nobody does it as detailed and authentic as Greenskeeper as it relates to golf courses.
Okay.
Post some reviews, and the minute you post a review, I'm going to be the first person to thank you for it, because that's how Greenskeeper's been built. That's the culture. I like to lead by example, and it feels really good to thank people. Like I just cut a small Facebook video this morning. That's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. I'm going to read a couple reviews. I'm going to see if there's any new users that are posting, and see if they posted a helpful review. And then on Greenskeeper, I can message them. I'll message them right on there, and I will thank them.
Okay, well, this leads into a really good topic, which is the next topic that we're going to talk about, is the GK Guru program. Now, when I came back to come and help you, pick up where we left off, You told me about the GK Guru program, and I thought that was an excellent, awesome program.
Thanks.
For to actually spotlight and highlight and give some of our great, I guess, members that do great reviews some really cool golf deals, as well as highlight them and then spotlight them in the community. So why don't you explain a little about how the GK Guru program works?
The GK Guru program, first off, is not limited to the Greenskeeper.org platform. It deals with the whole Greenskeeper digital footprint. Just hasn't evolved fully yet into GK Facebook, GK Instagram, GK TV, YouTube, GK whatever. But right now the core really is based on Greenskeeper. And so what I did over the years is I've seen who was posting the most helpful reviews. What reviews are getting the most liked? You know what I mean? And I reached out to those people and I said, look, I'd like to invite you to be part of, sort of a subgroup, a sub-community within GK, and deem them GK gurus. And then, because what's happening in our culture right now is, and something that's a big crusade for me, is to help educate the golf course industry in reaching out to people that are so-called influencers. And that's pretty much what Greenskeeper's been doing all these years. It's an influencer platform. It's just loaded with them. And we're the people, we're the soldiers really for golf right now, to bring that awareness to the game, and to show people how much we're enjoying it, across the board. So, we start with GK. We start with the Greenskeeper.org platform, which really focuses on reviews. So the people that are writing those reviews, I invite them to be part of this group, and then this guru group, and then they have access to amazing deals, because basically the golf courses are going to invite us out when their golf courses are in really great shape. They're going to give us unbelievable deals, and then they'll pass that on to the gurus, and they're not asking the gurus to do anything different. They just want them to be the gurus, because that's why they're gurus. That's why people pay attention, because they're authentic. Right? So they invite us out. I love to accompany the guru groups. I love golf, and it's fun, and I'm always trying to meet Greenskeeper members, or even the ones that I have played golf with, just get to know people better. That's kind of like a theme for me, is I'm always trying to build deeper relationships and understand people more. So I have a lot of fun on these, and so we're going to be doing those more and more. That's basically how the Guru program works. It gets a little bit more deeper, but that's the best way to explain it.
So to clarify, to become a GK Guru, you get invited based on how you do your reviews.
That's right. It's an invitation thing. It really is. But I mean, earning your way into it isn't really too tough. I mean, you're going to just be of service to your fellow golfer. You're going to be real about when you post your reviews. And you can bet I'm going to reach out to you, and I'm going to say, hey, would you like to be part of this GK Guru program?
So there you have it. Write awesome, cool, authentic reviews. Okay, so we kind of touched base, or you kind of touched base in the last few questions about this, and I actually want to expand. This is not actually on the outline, which is, I mean, we talk about this, off camera, when we're eating or when we're having dinner or whatever, and that is the golf industry, and is it catching up with today's standards of social media and stuff? I mean, that's a huge, conversation we always have, mainly because we're doing GKTV, we're spreading out to Instagram and all that stuff. We're using all the latest technology, and we're basically catching up with it. But is the golf industry getting there? Or,
well,
I know you just gotta watch out what you have to say here, but
no, I mean, it's been a crusade of mine. I mean, when I launched Greenskeeper, I was like, okay, we're in the e-commerce boom. I mean, there was an idea to make some money and support the community and build this thing from the beginning. And I thought golf courses were going to embrace this thing called the e-commerce boom. And they were going to sell tee times online, they were going to collect data, email addresses and stuff, and they were going to build those relationships, and they were going to hedge in that direction. What I discovered, because remember, I came from outside the golf industry. I came from the record industry, and I was following an inspired sort of dream here to have a golf, online golf community. I found out that they didn't even have websites. I mean, that's how far behind the golf course industry was in the early 2000s. And then they weren't even taking their online presence serious, let alone, booking tee times and stuff. So golf basically, and that's really the short Reader's Digest version of this, they missed e-commerce boom. Like they just completely whiffed on it. So now basically their mulligan and is understanding what's happening with what I like to call, I used to call it the social boom, but now I call it more of the attention, the attention boom, where we're in a complete culture shift here on how people pay attention to things and how they make decisions and what's relevant and what isn't relevant.
Yeah.
Okay, so what Greenskeeper's done is it's expanded its digital footprint, really where the attention is not just on its platform, but through its social media platforms. And I'm noticing golf courses, doing social media, but they're not doing it right. They're not even doing it remotely right by and large, because they're not using these platforms because it's social media, right? That word is really important. I mean, you got to be social. Media, and they treat it like email, or they just try to push deals in front of people, or they hire a company, right, to go ahead and just post generic posts like about Tiger Woods, how he's doing, or like the PGA Tour and stuff. Whereas people are dialing into their platforms because they want to connect with them directly and learn what's going on. So they need to learn how to engage and interact and stuff. The problem with the golf course industry is that they're spread so thin. Okay, and I know that's a lame excuse, and those that do it right find the time to do it, because look, I'm putting in like 12, 14-hour days, but I don't see that as much in the golf industry. Not that I know for sure, but I mean, you got to engage. That's where the conversion is. So, so what Greenskeeper's doing is it's taking the bull by the horns, especially with the Guru program. Because a lot of these people in the Guru program, they don't just post reviews on Greenskeeper. They're gonna post Facebook posts, they're gonna post Instagram posts, they're gonna create a lot of authentic awareness, for that golf course. And those are the things that people pay attention to. Right? I mean, you go to a golf course Facebook page, you'll go to their Instagram account, and you'll notice, they have a lot of followers for whatever reason, how they built them up. But you'll notice they have very little community. Right? And without the community, you got no substance. You really do. You don't have attention. So that's kind of, that's a little just, I can go on forever about this subject. I've spoken at conferences about this subject.
You kind of wrote a book about this?
I co-authored a book on this, and I wish I had the book with me right here. The book called...
A guy that didn't bring his stuff to Pimp.
Sorry, Zeb. Zeb is the co-author of The Social Golf Course that we released about 3 years ago. It was a book that was way ahead of its time, obviously, but it's still relevant today. Zeb specializes in social media, runs a company called 19th Hole Media. He works with a bunch of golf courses. So we kind of collaborated on some ideas. Giving my perspective from an online community standpoint and what I felt about the industry and stuff, and using real examples from Greenskeeper and things to help really educate the golf course industry. Kind of be a part of this big crusade of mine, really, is to help level up the golf. Because to be honest with you, Chung, golf is only as healthy as the golf course industry. Now I know if as a golfer you're like, well, wait a minute, but the truth is that's our playgrounds. That's like the research shows, that's the experiences that we enjoy. Okay, so if you go out to your golf course and it's in really bad shape, you're getting bad customer service because they're freaking broke, right? Or whatever the heck it is. They're not broke, but they're struggling so much and they can't maintain the course to the standards that, that really help us enjoy it. That is going to affect golf in general. All right, that's going to affect people's level of enthusiasm for the game. Right? So, you want a healthy golf course industry. And some people may not have agreed with some of my stances over the years, but, I'm always focused on healthy golfer participation in a healthy golf course industry. We bring those two together and we bring the right attention to golf, we're going to grow the game.
Right. Now, the thing is, the landscape's changing. It's changing everywhere, obviously, because, new generation and stuff like that. And in the past few years, you've heard a lot about how golf's in decline and stuff like that. And obviously, they're not catching the new generation, the new millennials, or whatever the next generation is. Now, I think that's, one of the questions here, or that topic we discuss is, where do you ultimately want to go with GK? And obviously, we already hinted where we're going to go, which is the new era. Picking up new people, making golf fun for these new people, and showing them that it's just not about grandpa and their khakis and But you know what I mean.
I know
right?
what you
I'm not
mean.
trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
offend anyone.
No, that's true.
It's just that how do we make golf fun? And we talked about this a lot, which is simply push the casual golf. You know, when we talk about making instruction videos, tutorials, you just got to make it fun, not make it too serious, just to show that you don't need to be so stingent about golf because golf is fun. So, in your view, how is this landscape going to affect the golf industry and in the future itself as well with GK?
Okay, you mean when you say landscape, like what
The landscape, the whole current situation with everything, the game itself.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of gloom and doomers about golf. Okay, it's been around for centuries. Okay, golf. The only reason why golf has been in a decline is because golf has not evolved with our culture. Just like what I mentioned, not evolved with the e-commerce boom, not evolving quick enough with what's going on with, you know, in the social world, in just the online world, just in general, and people pay attention to. So what we have to do, what's going to happen is golf is going to level up. Golf is a social game. Golf should be matched up more with what's going on right now than any other sport.
Totally.
Absolutely. And once golf matches up with that, and that's what Greenskeeper's doing. You know, the golf courses that we work with, the golf courses that I talk to, and the advice that I give them is always the same. You know, they need to connect deeper with their customers, especially the customers that influence other people to play their golf course and that are enjoying expressing their love for the game. So, I mean, golf really has a very promising future.
Yeah.
And what I want to do with Greenskeeper, you know, is, you know, not only bring all that great high energy and fun to golfers, you know, I really want to see golf thrive, especially the golf course industry. Right. And it's really exactly what Greenskeeper's doing now and going to do more so in the future. And Greenskeeper is going to expand across the country and, you know, the way I see it, across the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's huge, big visions, entrepreneur and all that stuff, but no, seriously, you know, Greenskeeper is a culture.
Yeah.
It's a culture. You know, and it took me a long time to understand that, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, you're going through and you launch a platform, and back in the early 2000s, Greenskeeper was going to dominate golf's presence in cyberspace, big old wide-eyed and stuff like that, and you start to realize what really matters.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that it's about people, it's relationships, right? It's about making a difference. You know, I really don't even think Greenskeeper would be where it is today if it wasn't for the Greenskeeper events, the GK events and GK plays and the outings and stuff.
Those are fun. I mean, I remember going to a couple and they were fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, we got to get together. We got to play golf.
Yeah.
You know, it's a game. We got to, you know, and we got to make friendships. It's such a special thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so good for our culture, you know, for our country, you know, for all you know, it's just, it's a very, it connects deep with people. And so Greenskeeper is about doing that, connecting deep with people.
So that's it, guys. JohnnyGK.
All right.
Sorry it took a little long, but I guess there was a lot more. And we didn't even go through half the stuff.
No.
I guess, well, we could do it later.
Yeah.
Right? So thank you for watching, guys. And we'll see you out there. Go out and play that game of golf.
Yes.